the work of copyists. That was before printing, of course. Of course, copyists were mostly church people, so it gives an idea of what was chosen to be reproduced or not. So some aspects of science were very controlled by church for a long time. And this is, again, this is very Western world view. Would be interesting to look at what happened in Asia. During the Renaissance, with the rise of printing, it really accelerated the diffusion of work. But still, for example, Da Vinci had lots of unpublished notebooks, so it didn't take into account everything. There's also, as you mentioned during the discussion, the creation of learned societies that led to the creation of learned journals. I hope it's the right translation of that concept. And then the beginning of a scientific community. So now we have a little poll that Gleb will launch. What was the first country to publish a scientific journal? So we have a poll here that Gleb will launch, and please select the one that you think was the first one. As you can see, I was very creative in the name of the country. I think I didn't vote. I can't vote, actually. I think there's 2 votes to go, or am I wrong? But we can stop it there. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, yeah, the winner is Italy. Oh, interesting. Well, for me, I would have liked to vote for Middle Earth, but that's fine. So I like that. I like the fact that we have basically Italy, France and England second together, Portugal. So stop sharing for now. And this is the answer to this little poll. So, well, actually, the first scholarly paper was created by the Royal Society of London. So it was in England, so not Italy. And hold on a second. So initially, they were doing the live demonstrations of experiments in front of the members of the society, and decided to create a publication to communicate their activities and results. Robert Hooke is the first editor with the title of Curator of Experiments. They were producing 1,200 copies of 20-page journal once a month, and this is not negligible. So they started the society in 1660, sorry, and the first journal published was in 65. So contributions were coming from England, France, Germany, and the Netherlands, and the Royal Society still exists today, and you can find its publication by following the link. It's really interesting to look at 350 years old publications. I selected one for you, so you can really select very old publication on their website. And I found one about an account of the improvement of optic glasses, so maybe you can learn something there. For microscopists, I think it can be interesting. Also, around the same years, there was Le Journal des Savants, which was a French publication, and they were, of course, fighting to claim priority with the English publication. Well, France and England were not really friends back then. But the French publication was only 3 months before the one in England. But in fact, it didn't last very long and disappeared very quickly. So it was mostly accounts of what's happening elsewhere. So not really original documentation or papers. The first editor was Denis de Salo, which was a parliament councillor in Paris. And it was covering science and other themes, including a lot of debates. It's really French to add lots of debates everywhere. And I can say it, I'm French, so. Now, starting, you have here really a graph of the number of journals over the years. So the 20th century saw an explosion of scholarly journals with the creation of new disciplines, specialization of science activities, and an increased number of researchers and engineers. So Solar Price, the gentleman in the picture, studies showed prediction of number of publications reaching 1 million milestone for the year 2000, the number of publication. So now how does this prediction compare to recent data? So this is a graph created in Irish Periodical Directory. So this is a database that lists all the publication you can have, whether it's a magazine or a scholarly publication. And the 1 million milestone was actually reached a bit earlier. So during the first 250 years, the increase was slow, with the creation of only 1 or 2 journals every few years. And at the turn of the 19th century, things started to move up. It really started to explode, of course, in the 20th century. Don't forget, it's a log scale here. And the 1 million milestone was reached around the 80s, 1980s. So there is a slow down during the 2 world wars here. In the magnified view, you can see stabilization to around 1990 and up to 2000. It then started to increase again. So the increase was due to, I guess, you can guess it, to the inception of internet and online publications. So quiz. Now we were going to dig into what is really scholarly communication. So historically, why do you think we needed scholarly publications, like really scientific publications?